What's up guys and welcome. You're watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the latest physique update of Keone Pearson. And the thickness that he is showcasing right now, that is just on a different level this time. He is currently weighing 230 pounds in what we can all say is a great off-season condition. And to give you guys some perspective, he weighed 199 pounds at the Olympia last year at the finals. So he is certainly going to be a few pounds bigger than last year this time. And here is the thing, he can't afford to get bigger. He is just built that way. That way he is put up together, he doesn't have to worry about getting blocked here. So he has been able to put on roughly 25 pounds of solid muscle in this transition from classic physique to the 212 in the last 3 or 4 years. And his aesthetics, I don't want to say they have remained the same, they have actually enhanced. He looks a lot better now with his frame, and his proportions look more insane compared to when he was competing in classic physique division. And I have to say, he probably have one of the best proportions in the bodybuilding world right now. I mean, his aesthetics rivals the likes of Derek Lunsford. So, Keone was destined for greatness in terms of what he could achieve in the sport of bodybuilding. Even at his first Mr. Olympia in classic physique, he was able to place top 4 in the world. That itself was such a huge accomplishment. So the way Keone's trajectory has been looking during this offseason, he's gonna create more and more distance between him and all the other competitors in the 212 class. And this is going to be the case for many years to come. We know Sean Carida will do everything in his power to reclaim the title, but we are talking about two entirely different physiques, two entirely different bodybuilders. One has that insane muscle maturity and superb density to his physique, and the other guy is insanely athletic. And on top of that, Keone Pearson is about to enter his prime, while the other guy has been competing as a pro for a decade now. Plus, the margin of improvements for Keone Pearson are so much more compared to what Sean Carida can achieve at this stage of his career. The more muscle Keone Pearson adds on his frame, the more static he's gonna be. But same cannot be said about Sean. He's already maxed out. We saw that at the Orange Classic last year when he tried to do the men's open bodybuilding, and while trying to get bigger, he kinda started to look blockier in his waist area. But if he can bring back that 2022 Mr. Olympia look, the battle between these two guys is gonna be just awesome. Looking back at Flex Lewis's legendary career in the 212 class, do you guys think he regrets not switching to the men's open bodybuilding and test his true potential? The guy was so dominating during his prime. He was almost unbeatable. But things could have been totally different if he switched to the men's open bodybuilding. But that's the thing. The Flex that we saw every year, it wasn't the best of him. According to his coach Neil Hill, he said that Flex Lewis looked at his best around 225 pounds. So imagine being 100% ready at that weight and then stripping down another 12 to 15 pounds of muscle to make the weight, and that too every year. That is just ridiculous. So I do not know if he regrets not switching to the men's open bodybuilding, but I think he regrets not competing at the Olympia 2019. He could have certainly been in the mix because there was no Phil Heath, no Sean Roden, no Big Ramy. So he could have fought for the Mr. Olympia title with Brendan Curry, Hadi Choopan and William Bonac. Well, that is in the past now. So fast forward to 2024 and how he is looking right now. And let's talk about his retired physique. So that man looks awesome. Whatever protocol he is running, it is working amazingly for him. He seems to be holding on to a lot of fullness overall. And he is shredded as well. So one do understand why Flex Lewis did not make that switch to the men's open bodybuilding. I mean, it was the era of Phil Heath. And we all know how untouchable Phil Heath was in his prime. Just look at it this way. At this upcoming Mr. Olympia, there are potentially 3 to 4 guys who have a very realistic chance of winning the Olympia title. Like Derek, Hadi, Nick, Samson. But while Phil Heath was there was a mutual consensus that if he comes in at his best, everyone is going to be fighting for second place. I mean, the guy stayed on the top for 7 consecutive years. So there is a wild rumor floating around that Quinton Beastwood might be entering this year's New York Pro. So we are talking about a show that is going to be happening roughly in 5 weeks' time. Now, that is just a rumor, that's just speculation. But if that is in fact true, we are going to have 2 athletes, Nick Walker and Quinton Beastwood, trained by the same coach, Matt Jensen, for this upcoming New York Pro. And keep in mind, this is going to be Quinton's first prep with Matt Jensen, and the man seems very much satisfied with the results that he has achieved so far. We saw an abs and thigh shot for the very first time from Quinton, and I have to say that is just nuts. Absolutely insane. So if Quinton does the New York Pro, there is just too much of a muscle difference between him and Nick Walker, especially in his back. Quinton's back is nowhere close to Nick Walker's back. But Quinton is a big and a very tall guy. He is really gonna stand his ground, and I have to say he's gonna stand out. And the reason are his aesthetics. So, let's be real. Quinton turned pro way before Nick Walker. And it's about time he stands next to the top Olympia competitor and show them what he has got. So from 2019 to 2024, the man has come a long way. And him taking more than 1.5 years completely off and focusing on just getting bigger, that is gonna give him a very big edge this time. So here is the question for you guys. If Quinton actually competes at this show, do you guys think he has what it takes to beat a guy like Keone Pearson? Do let me know in the comments below. I am kinda surprised by this comment of Akim Williams on this upcoming Detroit Pro. Now, no disrespect to any of the guys who are competing at Detroit Pro this upcoming weekend, but if that Arnold Classic UK version of Akim Williams competed here, it would have been kind of an easy win for him. He is just too big, too muscular for any of the guys who are competing there. So, the reason I'm really surprised is because those guys like Fuad and Ben, these guys started talking about Detroit Pro way back before the Olympia last year. So it is kinda surprising why some of these competitors did not set their schedules accordingly. So this could have been a very easy Olympia qualification for Akim. Now that being said, this is the latest update of Akim Williams, and although he did not directly announce what show he's gonna do next, but he did write 8 weeks out in the hashtags. And in 8 weeks time we're gonna have Toronto Pro, because that is the show that is happening in June. So I'm gonna say direct enough. So far Akim Williams has done 2 shows with Vito, and both of these versions were some of the best we have ever seen from Akim in his entire bodybuilding career. And Vito is learning his body. So I am excited to see Akim Williams back in form. And this momentum will allow him to maybe move back in that second call-out at the Olympia this year. So just a few years ago, he placed top 6 at the Olympia. So everything is possible if you think about it. Now, let's hype up some of the guys who are actually going to be competing at Detroit Pro at this weekend. And for the very first time. Because for those of you guys who do not know, this is going to be the inaugural Detroit Pro. And one of these guys is going to get away with 25 grand, as well as the Olympia qualification. So these are most probably going to be the final physique updates before the show. So let's start with Martin-Fitzwater. He stayed covered up for most part of the prep, but he's now posting more and more updates. So such a great story behind him for this year. Because first his application got rejected for the Arnold Classic Ohio. Then he did not even apply for the Arnold Classic UK. So he had to stay in prep for almost 6 additional weeks. And the way he is looking right now, I'm gonna say Martin is about to make a very big statement in Detroit. He's like the favorite in almost everyone's predictions. Almost everyone believes that this is gonna be his show to lose. The next update from Detroit Pro is from Justin Rodriguez, who is going to be looking for redemption as well as finally be able to nail his peak. Because the way Arnold Classic went down this year, that wasn't what these guys were hoping for. So if we talk about his recent update, Justin is looking really big. And also he is looking quite leaner as well this time. Especially in comparison to the Arnold Classic prep, where Abdullah was the one coaching him. So keep in mind, he's being coached by a new coach this time. And if this guy comes in shredded, he has the ability to win the show. And the reason is, he is a very big guy. He is a very wide guy, and he takes up a lot of space on the stage. And size is a very big criteria for the men's open bodybuilding. And Justin is probably going to be the biggest guy in this lineup. And if we talk about his new coach, Justin Jacoby, is also the coach of Keone Pearson, who was peaked to perfection at the Arnold Brazil. So let's just hope that he can make a miracle happen with Justin Rodriguez as well. And last but not least, we have Goodvito, who is such an exciting talent in the men's open bodybuilding. He was so shredded in Brazil, definitely lived up to the hype. And everyone agrees that he is 100% legit. So can Vito bring that same level of shirts, that same level of conditioning, but a little more fuller? Because if he does, it is game on. He can win this show as well. Also, this is gonna be his test to see whether he can nail his peak in back-to-back shows. And there are so many people out there who believe that Goodvito has a very good shot at winning this show and getting his Olympia qualification for the very first time. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.